The CISO role is certainly isolating. You don't have anybody else in the company that actually understands what you do.
We put on a brave face. We smile, we present very well. But until you've walked a mile in the shoes, you don't know the struggle.
It's an incredibly difficult job.
I disappointed them. I told them I'd have their back and I'd work on it, and I disappointed them.
If I had known just how challenging certain aspects of it were to my own personal being, I probably would have chosen something different.
As much as you love it, you can't survive it anymore.
I'm done being a CISO.
Speak. Lower down. Lower. There. Brandon Newman interview. Take one. Marker.
Every single CISO out there is fearing for that one call to come, and they know it's possible. The call never, ever comes at a convenient time, and probably when you've let your guard down because you haven't gotten the call in a couple months or even a year, you haven't gotten the call. Then you finally get the call, and your stomach sinks, and you just are hoping that this is not the one, because everybody's read about the one, and they don't want to be the person in the seat whenever it happens. And you always think that could be possible.
When the phone rings at 12 and it's somebody from the office calling me or somebody from my team calling me, my heart definitely stops. I could feel it stop.
I always say that unless I'm on my deathbed, there's no way I can't respond to some sort of call from, our SOC team or some major incident. There's no way that I can't not take that call.
I was in bed asleep when the call came, and initially I thought it might be any other call. But when I answered the phone, the first words out of their mouth made me understand that it was very bad very quickly.
I got a call from our CFO who wanted me to jump on a call because there was a problem with our South America office. And there was some money that was missing from a bank account. We got a call from the general manager at that location, and she had gone down to the police station to report this crime. What she learned at the police station was there was 2 other people there reporting a similar crime, and it was the same bank. What happened here was this bank was going through that shift as part of multi-factor authentication, and the bank was saying, okay, if you don't do this, you won't have access to your accounts. The 3 customers that all reported this at the time, they had not gone through the multi-factor authentication change. What the attackers were able to do was actually reach out to them and convince them to go to the URL because they had already infiltrated them. So now they're in the browser. What they were able to do was, okay, I'm going to need you to go there, log in, and go through, enter your credentials. So at the time they entered the credentials, the attacker captured them. I think it was well over $750,000 gone. And what was not understood by some people was that there is no FDIC coverage on that scenario, because what they did was they convinced authorized signers to actually make the transfer. And FDIC insurance does not cover authorized transfers. And because of that, that money's not coming back. It's gone forever. What the conversation with the CFO at that time was, okay, now I won't question why you say you need what you need when you say you need it. It takes something like that before we get what we need.
CISOs are supposed to help identify the risks. CISOs are supposed to help the business understand the nature of the risks. But a senior business person makes a choice. CISOs don't have infinite money. CISOs take the budget that they're allocated and do the best they can with that budget. But CISOs never get enough money to do all the necessary things. That's a business choice made by the business people. And so We need to be clear about who is asking a question and who's making a decision.
CFOs at board meetings, executive meetings, they're at every table, right? They get as much time as they feel they need to tell the story about the financial strength or financial weaknesses of an organization in depth, in detail. Yet, the CISO, we don't get invited to those tables. Sometimes we get invited to the kids' table. If you feel like you have some information that is useful, that is valid, but you are questioned as though you don't know anything.
Definitely, CEO has the power to direct where the company is going. CTO has the power to determine where technology is going. I don't think the CISO really has power on deciding where to go from a company perspective. On the other end, when something goes wrong, you have the title of security officer. Therefore, we're holding you accountable not doing quoted security right. So when you don't really have a power to really make anything, and then when something goes wrong, you are the one. When you look at it, that's kind of like a lose-lose situation, right? So where's the winning part?
There's like a joke in the industry about, CISOs being like the chief, sacrifice officer or whatever, right? Something happens and it's like, okay, well, let's get rid of that person. It's been happening in the background where investors in like a private standpoint would go after the CISO and bring kind of like lawsuits against them, and CISOs have like had to deal with that.
And the truth is, lawyers and PR, communications people in companies don't like telling these stories. We would rather hope that it stays quiet and it never makes it into the press. But the reality is things happen.
And that's an important component of when you think about doing your job well. If you don't personally feel that you're well protected in the company, how can you do your job? Because you're not only looking over your shoulder with regards to the safety and well-being of the company and the people and the consumers, but you're also now looking over this other shoulder going, okay, I got to worry about myself.
It's hard not to be punished as a CISO whenever an incident happens.
You're deemed to be the Wizard of Oz. You're the person behind the curtain making sure it all works. And you feel that burden and take that responsibility both heavily and seriously.
Everything's great when there's no breach, and as soon as there's a breach, it's all of a sudden, eyes on CISO. That's a lot of pressure on one person.
The pressures are always going to be there. When you choose to be a first responder, which is what we do, when you choose to help others, you know that you're going to have some bad days. We're not doing well at all when 63% of CISOs report burnout. I think we have a problem, and I think it's getting into those sort of pandemic numbers in this space. So my peers drop dead on the job because of the levels of stress. Pressure is real.
The CISO role is difficult, and burnout is a real challenge. If you're in the middle of a crisis, you're 24/7 until the crisis is over. Burnout is, to some degree, a side effect of unending pressure.
Burnout feels completely overwhelming. It feels like that you have so much on your shoulders that it would be impossible to ever overcome what's in front of you.
You struggle to get up in the morning. Burnout feels like you are in the middle of a really critical conversation and your mind drifts off into some other place. Burnout means that as much as you love it, you can't survive it anymore.
It's kind of like a heart attack. If you don't know the symptoms of a heart attack or a stroke, you don't realize that you're having a heart attack or a stroke.
If you let all this stuff get to you, if you take it home, it makes it very hard to survive this job.
I've actually had incidents before where team members have burnout so much that they just don't show up anymore and you don't know where they went. Just gone.
You don't really have a quiet space in your mind. And that's that kind of like always on mentality that people that are in this industry, it really burns you out over time. You always try to figure it out, and usually you're successful. And when you're not able to actually do that, you feel like you failed. And that's the worst feeling, because you're just like, why couldn't I figure this out? And you start beating yourself up. If I just push a little bit harder, if I just figure out a way how to get through to the other side, it will be okay. And as a result, you tend to cast away your own personal well-being. And that's when I told my wife, I said, look, I need to stop, right? I don't know what this means. I don't know how this is going to play out, but I actually have to take a step back.
The thing that it cost me the most was personally. Through a number of struggles, as I've pursued to gain that knowledge and experience and all those things, it cost me a family. You know, I went through a divorce as a result of it, because you give everything you have to protect this other organization. You don't realize what you are not giving at home. I spent more time worrying about what was potentially happening at the office versus at home. And that is probably the biggest thing that it cost me.
If you want to be a CISO, you got to understand that is the situation. Do you still want to do it?
Yes.
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 One of the things I loved about the job was no 2 days were ever the same. It's such a dynamic environment because the businesses are changing, technology is changing, the bad guys are changing.
Even if you take the worst incident that I've ever been through, I would do it again in a heartbeat. The thrill and the experience you get from it is just so intense that you can't trade it for anything. Large incidents are like the Super Bowl for CISOs. So you want to get out there and play. This job is really never ending, and you will never accomplish it all. So you need to find a way to cope in a healthy way, or you just won't make it as a CISO.
My biggest ally is the man I married. And quite frankly, there are many times where I'm like, I don't know that I can do this. This is too hard. I have to go figure this out. He's always believed in me, and more importantly, told me that I could do it. And so that's important. You need to have that one person who, quite frankly, even when you don't know it and you may not be able to do it, looks at you and says, yes, you can. Go out and take a leap and try.
The cybersecurity community, there's a brotherhood and sisterhood that is unlike anything you would ever know and understand. If one of us is going through something, the rest of us will rally around them.
There will be challenges, but we'll be there for one another.
You choose to protect and serve. And that's what we do. It's in our DNA.
The reason that we do it is because we have a passion for it and we want to do the right thing.
I don't pursue success. I pursue significance. Success is about me, but the significance is what impact and change I make on others.
Most of the CISOs I know are fearless. I think they're brave, intrepid souls whose desire to protect overcomes most of the dramatically deleterious circumstances that are faced on a regular basis.
I'm a protector. I think it's what I was born to do.